5 a.m. The world outside is wrapped in a pre-dawn stillness. Inside, there is no battle. There is no desperate negotiation with the snooze button, no bargaining for just 5 more minutes of oblivion. There is only the quiet hum of the house and a decision made in the space between sleep and waking. Have you ever paused to consider the immense psychological weight of this single moment? It's more than just the start of a day. It's the first scene in a story you are about to write. For many of us, this moment is a battlefield. It's where the conscious self, the one who set the alarm with goals and aspirations, the one who dreams of a better life, collides with a powerful, unseen force. Psychologists might call this force the shadow self, that part of us, as Carl Jung described, that holds our unprocessed fears, our resistance, our deep-seated desire to retreat from the world's demands. It's the voice that whispers, "It's too hard. You're too tired. Stay where it's safe." Gabor Mate might see it as the echo of an overwhelmed inner child, a part of our nervous system conditioned by past stress to seek comfort and avoid challenge at all costs. So, what separates the morning that begins with surrender to this voice from the one that begins with quiet intention? What distinguishes the person who is pulled from bed by the chaos of the day from the person who rises to meet it? The difference is not a matter of more willpower, more hustle, or more self-punishment. It is a matter of awareness. It's the practice of seeing that internal negotiation for what it is, not a sign of weakness, but a fundamental human conflict. The answer lies in understanding that true power isn't found in winning the war against yourself, but in choosing which part of you gets to hold the pen. Because as the philosopher Will Durant summarized Aristotle's timeless insight, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This isn't just about habits. It's about identity. Every choice, starting with this one, is a vote for the person you are becoming. The question is, who are you voting for today? From the quiet sanctuary of the self, we are thrown into the noise of the world. A world that has perfected the art of distraction and enshrined a relentless hustle culture as its highest virtue. We are told that our value is measured in productivity, that exhaustion is a prerequisite for success, and that burnout is not a crisis, but a badge of honor. But let's look beneath the surface of this cultural narrative. From a psychological perspective, this isn't just a societal pressure, it's a form of collective conditioning. As the physician and trauma expert Dr. Gabor Mate might suggest, this compulsive drive to achieve is often rooted not in ambition, but in anxiety. It's a frantic attempt to soothe a deep, often unconscious wound, the core belief that we are, in our essence, not good enough. The hustle becomes a way to outrun our own perceived inadequacy. The overflowing inbox, the back-to-back meetings, they are not just work, they are a shield against having to sit quietly with ourselves. Think of our attention as a compass needle naturally pointing toward our inner true north, our values, our peace, our authentic self. The modern world is a powerful, chaotic magnetic field of notifications, expectations, and digital noise, constantly wrenching that needle away from its center. We feel scattered, anxious, and chronically tired because, as neuroscientist Dr. Bessel van der Kolk has shown, our nervous systems were not designed for this sustained state of high alert. We are not just overloaded with information, our very biology is in a state of siege. And what is our typical response to this internal chaos? We declare war on ourselves. We try to force discipline, a harsh, punishing regime designed to whip our tired bodies and minds into submission. We activate a tyrannical inner critic that shames us for our fatigue and scolds us for our distraction. But this approach only deepens the internal division. It's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. But what if we've been using the word discipline all wrong? What if it's not a prison we build to punish our perceived weakness, but a key to unlock our innate strength? What if it's not a weapon for our inner critic, but a tool for our compassionate self? The philosopher Jim Rohn once said, "Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment." Today, we are going to learn how to build that bridge. Not with the steel and concrete of force and self-criticism, but with the profound understanding of the 4 pillars of inner strength that allow us to find our way back to ourselves, even in the heart of the storm. Imagine this moment. You made a promise to yourself. You would run every morning. But now, the warmth of the bed is a siren's call, and the sound of rain against the window is a perfect excuse. A voice inside, ancient and deeply familiar, begins its negotiation. If it's cold, it's wet. Just skip today. One day won't matter. Rest is important too. Who is this voice? And in the quiet parliament of your mind, why does it so often hold the majority vote? This internal debate is not a simple clash between laziness and motivation. It's a profound archetypal drama. The voice urging you to stay is what depth psychology might call the pure eternus, the eternal child within us. It's the part that craves comfort, fears hardship, and resists the structure necessary for growth. Its primary goal is to keep you safe in the familiar nest. It is not malicious. It is simply uninitiated in the art of becoming. Discipline, from this perspective, is not the tool of a tyrant used to punish this inner child. That approach, the one of shame and self-aggression, only creates more internal conflict. Instead, true discipline is the function of the wise inner parent, the emerging senex or sage archetype. It's the part of you that can acknowledge the child's desire for comfort, thank it for its concern, and then consciously choose the path of growth. It doesn't scream, it leads. It doesn't force, it guides. Think of discipline as a gardener building a trellis. The trellis doesn't punish the vine for growing wildly. It provides the structure the vine needs to climb towards the sun, to bear fruit. Your daily commitments, these small, difficult choices, are the trellis you build for your own soul. The act of stepping into that rain is more than just exercise. It is a ritual. It is a physical declaration to every cell in your being that your conscious intention, not your conditioned impulse, is in command. This is how we learn to work with, not against, our own nature. As the master of personal transformation, Tony Robbins, put it, the secret of success is learning how to use pain and pleasure instead of having pain and pleasure use you. This is the alchemy of willpower. You consciously choose the short-term pain of the cold rain and the protesting muscles, and you transmute it into the long-term pleasure of integrity, strength, and the profound self-respect that can only be earned when you keep a promise to the one person who is always watching, yourself. Consider the modern portrait of success, the 60-hour work week, the inbox that never sleeps, the relentless pursuit of more. We tell ourselves this is a temporary sacrifice for a future reward. We trade the vitality of our present for the promise of a distant shore where we'll finally have earned the right to rest, to connect, to simply be. But have you ever stopped to ask, what if that shore doesn't exist? What if the cost of the ticket is the very thing we hope to find when we arrive? This relentless drive is more than just ambition. It's a powerful psychological current. From a Jungian perspective, our culture pushes us to over-identify with a single heroic archetype, the warrior or the builder. We are praised for our capacity to conquer tasks, to build empires, to endure hardship. But in doing so, we starve the other essential archetypes that make us whole, the lover who thrives on connection and pleasure, the mystic who needs silence and contemplation, and the sovereign king or queen whose greatest strength is not action, but centered, restful presence. Our life becomes a kingdom ruled only by its army, while its farms, its artists, and its people are neglected. This imbalance is often a story that begins in childhood. The psychoanalyst Alfred Adler spoke of how an early sense of inferiority can fuel a lifelong, neurotic striving for significance. Many of us carry an unconscious belief, an inner child logic, that our worth is conditional, that love and security must be earned through ceaseless effort. And so we build a life that is a monument to productivity, hoping it will finally make us feel worthy of the peace we deny ourselves. The path back to wholeness lies in seeing our life not as a linear climb, but as an ecosystem. A forest does not demand perpetual summer. It understands the necessity of winter's dormancy for spring's renewal. Balance is this ecological wisdom applied to the human soul. It is the courageous act of honoring the cycles of effort and rest, of engagement and retreat, of doing and being. This is where we must look past our goals and examine our daily reality, as author James Clear so wisely noted. You do not rise to the level of your goals. you fall to the level of your systems. Your goal may be balance, but what is your system? Is it a system that defaults to less for every demand and later for every need of your soul? A true system for balance isn't a new productivity app. It's a set of sacred boundaries, a non-negotiable walk in nature, a protected dinner with family, digital sunset that allows your mind to come home to itself. Balance isn't something you find. It's something you create moment by moment by building a life that has room for all of you, not just the part that produces. Have you ever noticed it? Before your conscious mind even labels a situation as stressful, your body is already telling the story. The jaw that clenches in a difficult conversation. The shoulders that creep up toward your ears in traffic. The shallow, tight breath that precedes the opening of a dreaded email. For centuries, Western thought was dominated by a powerful illusion, the idea of a mind separate from the body, a ghost in the machine. But modern neuroscience and ancient wisdom traditions agree, this is not true. Your mind is not just in your head, it is in every cell of your being. The psychiatrist and trauma researcher Dr. Bessel van der Kolk gave this phenomenon a name that resonates deeply with so many: the body keeps the score. Your body is a living archive, a library of every experience you have ever had. The memories that were too overwhelming for the conscious mind to process did not simply vanish. They were stored in the body's tissues. That chronic knot in your back is not just poor posture. It might be the physical residue of an old fear. That persistent tension in your gut is not just indigestion. It could be the echo of a time you felt unsafe. These are memories without words, frozen in the language of muscle and nerve. This is why practices like yoga, qigong, or even the intense presence required by a cold plunge are so transformative. They are not merely exercise. They are a form of somatic dialogue, a conversation with the subconscious mind through the language of the body. When you consciously breathe into a tense muscle, you are not just stretching it, you are sending a message of safety to your nervous system. You are gently engaging with that stored emotional energy, allowing it to finally complete its cycle and release. This is a bottom-up approach to healing, speaking directly to the primal, nonverbal parts of your brain that logic and positive thinking cannot reach. This practice of embodiment is what allows us to discover the truth in the profound words of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor who understood the nature of human freedom more than most. Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. That space is not just a mental concept. It is a physiological reality you can cultivate. By calming the body's ingrained threat responses, you literally create more room between what happens to you and what you do about it. You are no longer hijacked by the ghosts of the past. To inhabit your body is to come home to yourself, to listen to its wisdom, and to finally integrate the fragmented pieces of your experience into a powerful, present whole. Have you ever felt that you are in a silent war with an invisible enemy, and that enemy is yourself? You set a clear intention, you have the desire and the opportunity, but at the crucial moment, some unseen force rises from within and pulls you off course. You are not weak, and you are not alone in this. This is the human condition. The greatest obstacles to a disciplined and meaningful life are rarely external. They are the subtle, powerful patterns of our own minds. For over 2,500 years, Buddhist psychology has mapped this inner territory, identifying 5 primary patterns that cloud the mind and sabotage intention. They called them the 5 hindrances. Today, we know them by other names. Asterisk first, sensory desire asterisk that restless craving for a distraction, a dopamine hit. It's not just wanting a cookie or checking your phone. It's the psyche's attempt to self-soothe, a pacifier for an anxious inner child seeking to escape the discomfort of the present moment. Asterisk second, ill will asterisk the flash of anger at the driver who cuts you off, the simmering resentment toward a colleague. This is often the energy of the Jungian shadow breaking through, a disproportionate rage that taps into a deeper well of unexpressed grief or powerlessness. Asterisk third, sloth and torpor asterisk that heavy feeling of brain fog and lethargy. This is rarely simple laziness. More often, it is a sophisticated defense mechanism, a physiological shutdown when our nervous system feels overwhelmed. It is a retreat, not a failing. Fourth, restlessness and worry. The anxious, bouncing knee energy of a mind that cannot settle. It's the signature of an overactivated nervous system, constantly scanning for threats even when none are present. Fifth, doubt. The paralyzing voice of the inner critic that whispers, you're not good enough. You're going to fail. You're an imposter. It's the fear that if we truly show up, we will be exposed and found wanting. Here is the secret. You are not these hindrances. You are not the anger, not the doubt, not the fog. You are the sky in which these clouds appear. The practice is not to fight the clouds or wish them away, but to cultivate the awareness to simply notice their passing. To name them without judgment. There is doubt. There is restlessness. This simple act of naming creates a space. It shifts you from being the subject of the story to being the compassionate witness. This is the essence of what researcher Dr. Brené Brown calls true courage. The outcome you can't control is whether the clouds will come. The courage is in showing up anyway, in looking at your own inner world with honesty and kindness. The goal is not to achieve a perpetually clear sky, but to learn to navigate the weather with wisdom, so that these ancient hindrances no longer hold the rudder of your life. And then a day like this arrives. The perfect storm you always dreaded. It's the day the abstract concepts of discipline and balance are tested by the raw, brute force of reality. The deadline is not a metaphor, it's a ticking clock. The needs of your loved ones are not theoretical, they are immediate and heart-wrenching. The world does not pause for your well-being. In this moment, your carefully constructed morning ritual, the plan to sit and write down 3 things you are grateful for, feels like a cruel joke. A pointless luxury from a calmer, more naive life. The 5 hindrances we spoke of are no longer subtle clouds. They are a raging hurricane inside you. Doubt screams, see? None of this works. Worry paints 1,000 disastrous futures. And the desire to simply give up, to surrender to the chaos, is overwhelming. This is the moment of truth. This is where most of us break our promise to ourselves. But instead of giving in, you do something ridiculously small. You stop. You take 1 conscious breath. You write 1 single sentence. And in that tiny act of defiance against the storm, the entire universe shifts. The aha moment descends. The profound, earth-shaking realization is this. The real victory was never about finishing the to-do list. The real victory is keeping the promise to yourself on the day it feels impossible. The purpose of the ritual was never to control the external world. It was to forge an anchor within it. You realize that discipline is not about performing perfectly when life is easy. It is about showing up for yourself, however imperfectly, when life is hard. It's the ultimate act of self-love, of telling the overwhelmed child within you, even now, especially now, I will not abandon us. Power, you finally understand, is not the ability to change what happens to you. It is the sovereignty you hold over your response. It is the freedom you discover in that sacred internal space, a space illuminated so clearly by the spiritual teacher Eckhart Tolle. The frantic thoughts of failure and panic are just the weather. They are not you. You are the silent, unshakable awareness that notices the storm. And in that awareness, you don't just find the strength to endure the day, you find the freedom to truly live it. So after this journey through the inner world, through the nature of discipline, balance, embodiment, and our own hidden obstacles, we arrive at the most important question. Where do we begin? How do we carry the wisdom of the mountaintop down into the marketplace of our daily lives? We don't begin with a radical overhaul. We begin with a quiet intention. We begin with a simple 10-minute ritual, not as another task to add to our to-do list, but as a sacred space we create to meet ourselves each morning. You connect with your body. It can be the shock of cold water on your face or simply 3 deep, diaphragmatic breaths. This is not just about waking up. It's an act of incarnation. You are signaling to your nervous system, I am here. I am present in this body. I am safe. You connect with your heart and mind. You write down 3 specific things you are grateful for, training your attention to find the signal in the noise. Then you perform a small, courageous act of shadow work. You name one fear or doubt that is holding you back. You don't try to solve it. You simply bring it into the light of awareness, reducing its power. You connect with your purpose. You identify the top 3 tasks that truly matter for the day. This isn't a list of everything you could do. It's a declaration of what you will do. It is the art of creating focus and building a system that honors your energy and your values. This is not a magic formula. It is a practice. And I want to invite you to join me in an experiment. I have a challenge for you. Try this 10-minute ritual for just 7 days. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for presence. Your only goal is to show up for yourself for 10 minutes each morning and simply notice what happens to your energy, your focus, and your relationship with yourself. If this journey resonated with you, please like the video to let me know. And I would be honored if you would comment below, share one obstacle you face, or simply write, "I'm in," to commit to the 7-day challenge and join a community of people on the same path. Finally, if you wish to continue exploring this inner world together, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. It's a journey we don't have to take alone. The goal was never to win the war against yourself. It was to finally lay down your arms and come home. In these quiet moments, you don't just build a better day, you build a deeper relationship with the person you have been all along.